Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell, and I'm coming to you live. First time I talked today. Kind of loosened stuff up in there. Had to spit it out. Coming to you live on Memorex, default route, default location on this Tuesday. Tuesday is probably I like to say, I guess, the lowest point in the week for me, if you could call it that. Tuesday is like, Monday is Monday. Monday gets it all kicked off. Wednesday is hump day. I've been through this before, I ain't gonna say it again. Tuesday is like the day for me. But overall, I feel pretty good. Overall, I feel pretty good. Mr. Scale told me 196.0 today, which could be better, but I have been indulging, having candy and marshmallows and fig Newtons and as such in the kitchen. Does not help. Also, upcoming events and planned experiences in my life are going to keep things moving for maybe a month. You know, good stuff. And just because it's good stuff and fun activities doesn't mean you're not expending energy. Sometimes the exciting, fun things, you expend more energy. You can wear yourself out. And at my age, I start to look to that stuff to be prepared, to prepare myself for those moments where, make sure I get my rest. Plan to get my rest. So like this day, I gotta do this. This, this is how it's gonna go. And one of them is playing around granddaughter. Look to when I'll be able to just lay down and not do nothing. Looking for those moments where I have, probably like this past weekend. I didn't do too much of nothing. I don't even think I got on here and talked about it. Can't remember. But it was definitely a weekend where I was going to just do nothing. And I did. And yesterday wasn't quite a thank God it's Monday, but it was close. It was close. I Instacarted a bunch of food and junk. So I was stocked. Didn't have to go anywhere. Pittsburgh played, so I really didn't have to go anywhere. I slept, rested. And sometimes you can do that too much. You can overdo it. Sometimes you can overdo it. become lethargic and sluggish. And you got to rebound from it so that you can prepare yourself, get yourself at the right energy, right mindset, right vibration, right frequency to work, do your job. And the reason you want to do your job like that, get prepared, is, of course, you want to do a good job, but also it makes the day easier if you're prepared physically and mentally, rested. Makes the job a lot easier. Day goes flying by. And I kind of notice that when I'm right, that means, my energy is where it should be or could be in a good place. The day just goes by like boom, boom. And it's beautiful. It's hot. Said it was 70, 78 degrees, 77, whatever that is. But it's a lot hotter. It's a lot hotter than what I thought it was going to be. And it's a good thing I didn't stock up with a bunch of, wear too many clothes. When I see that 76 or whatever, I think it's going to be a cooler type day. But sometimes it gets hot. Out here, you get 100-something degrees. Be out here walking, you get 100 degrees out here. Still wore a long sleeve shirt though. Probably didn't have to. I don't know, I like wearing long sleeve shirts. I think my idea, I'm still stuck kind of on the sweating idea. I like sweating all that. It's just water weight, it really don't matter, and I know that. But still in my mind, I like to sweat and get that low number when I get back home. I call it an anomaly weight because I know it ain't real. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay. Since my headaches or muscle tension or sinuses, all that, it's getting better. You know what I did? I have no idea if this has anything to do with it or not. But I stopped using my night guard. I stopped using my night guard at night to see if that helped. And it seemed to help. But it seemed to help like the next day. And I say it seemed to help because it didn't go away. It didn't go away. But it seems over the last few days it's gotten definitely less intense as far as the pain and stuff in the back of my neck go. And this and that. Then for a few days there, it was allergies. It wasn't sinuses this time. It wasn't that sinus pain. It was allergies. Allergy, feel like allergy, irritations, etc. I know the difference. But either way, I got my extra strength headache relief pills. I try not to take them try not to pop them like candy, but they work. That shit works. Takes away all that pain or gnawing or soreness, whatever you want to call it. Just relief. And of course the caffeine in it don't hurt. You know, I don't do caffeine if I can stay away from caffeine. But if a cup of coffee gives you the feeling or the rush that I sometimes get from taking the headache medicines, my sister said, yeah, them headache pills have caffeine in them. They give you like an euphoria, like a rush. If coffee does that for you every morning, it's a drug. And I can see why people be lining up at Starbucks or whatever to get their coffee. I know that's nasty, huh? I know that's nasty. I should be a professional, not partake in such activities while the camera's rolling. I don't know, Pittsburgh lost. They looked horrendous. Steelers lost to the Seahawks 31-17, but it really wasn't that close. I mean, it really wasn't that 14-point loss. It was some just weird stuff Pittsburgh did, giving up a touchdown on special teams. Caleb Johnson didn't cover the ball. Seahawks covered it for a touchdown on a kickoff return, which is like the number one thing you're taught in what you do is you cover the ball because it's a live ball, and he didn't. He let it go in the end zone. Yeah, we covered it for a touchdown late in the game. But it was just bad either way. And it's so bad now that week 2, the media and the sports writers, the beat writers, they're really coming down hard on the team, and they're saying stuff that I was saying 2-3 years ago, maybe even longer, back when Ben was there. It's not modernized, it's the same thing. In fact, they're even saying you just can't line up and run people over anymore. I've been saying this for years. And now they're saying it, and it was the time, and I'm still not saying that time is over, where, you know, I'm looking at Mike Tomlin. I'm like, this is your team. You're responsible for all this. And we're seeing the same thing over and over. And you've been the consistent thing through all these years. Coaches have come, coaches have go, players have come, players have go. An argument also could be made that when we had possibly the best running back and the best wide receiver in the league, when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, we should have won Super Bowls. And the fact that we fell short, we had that talent, we had Ben, we had a defense, just kept falling short. I think Tomlin got one though. I think Tomlin got him a ring. So, I mean, he's a good coach. Well, he's definitely a good motivator of men. Principle, integrity. He's a good leader of men. Now, Does that lead to good coaching? No. Because nowadays you gotta be smart. And they were saying it yesterday. They actually said you just can't line up and run people over anymore. You gotta, even though you got the best players in the league or whatever, if you don't put them in the right place, they're gonna get exploited in today's NFL. Because people watch film, people know tendencies, they know how to run away from you, they know how to trick you, deceive you. And people were even bringing up back when Julian Edelman, we used to play the Patriots. He said we knew what they were gonna do. It's nothing new, nothing special. And Mike Tomlin might be at a mindset where we line them up man on man, and you beat your man. That's how we're gonna win. There's too much parity in the league now. You gotta have schemes, you gotta fool people. Because if you come out and do the same thing, they know what you're gonna do, they know how you're gonna line up. They're gonna figure something out. They're gonna figure out how to exploit that at the least. And they might even have a player or two who can outperform you at that position. But if you're consistently doing the same thing, and I think that's what they're doing on defense and offense. The offense is changing a little bit. So we'll see. The offense is evolving somewhat. The new offensive coordinator and Aaron Rodgers coming in. But it's still, they're making tactical and schematics, scheme mistakes in the schemes that, you know, not just me. People who know the game and watch the game, watch film, they are just destroying Pittsburgh. The beat writers in the media, my podcast, they are just destroying. Upset. Even Debo, James Harrison on his podcast, they were just like, this was bad. And people just getting pushed back, defensive line getting pushed back in the linebackers, and it was just bad. And the word innovation, modern, sophisticated, complex, scheme, all those words I've been saying for years, starting to be said. So we'll see. Again, every year we go through this, but I wouldn't quite say at the second game of the season we would be in it this deep, because what happened was the last Pittsburgh lost the playoff game and they gave up 299 yards rushing, which is abhorrent. It's the worst. Gave up 209 yards rushing to a team that we're supposed to be a good run defensive team. We gave up that they ran us over. And they vowed in the offseason to do something to help that. And they did. They went and got some players, they did this, they did that. But the same thing is still happening. Players are getting frustrated. Things aren't being called right. Players are making mistakes. Seem like players, I don't think I heard anybody say players are out of position, but definitely the scheme and schematic. Like on a couple plays where Aaron Rodgers got hit or whatever, they did like schemes and plays where the defensive tackle will crash out, and maybe like TJ Watt will swing around and go behind them, and stunts. Pittsburgh didn't do no stunts. They just want to line up, you beat your man. But all of a sudden now, you're playing against your man and coaching and schemes. So you may be concentrated on your man, but your man kind of know what you're gonna do. They already know what you're gonna do. And I don't care how good you are, that's gonna make things difficult if he know what you're gonna do. So we'll see. It's Tomlin Tuesday, where he addresses the media And I'm sure the beat writers, they're like a pack of dogs now. They're kind of unified on getting answers they haven't been getting answers to. It's becoming evident. I think they're gonna press Tomlin and not let him get away with his usual Tomlinism, smooth, straight talking stuff. So we'll see. We shall see. Because all the people I watch, and these are people who, they're beat writers, so they have access to the locker room and to the players and training camp and all that. They actually have credentials and passes, so they can go in there and talk to people. They're there. It's their job to know about the Steelers, to bring us reports. Some work for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Some have their own. DK, Alex Kazor, terrible. Steelers Now, Still Curtain Network, Steelers Almighty. DB got one, he on Steelers Now sometime. In fact, Chris Carter got one, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And this turned his on one time. And Alan Saunders was on there. Matt Williamson is one of my favorites. Paul Zeiss, with his little ornery old self. But I turned on Locked On Steelers. And, Chris Carter's on there. Sometimes he can be good. And Alan Saunders popped up on the show. I was like, wow, that's cool. I watch Steelers Now. I don't know, there's some things that I watch consistently. And I'm not even sure why I like them. I'm not even sure why I like them, but there's some I just watch. It's like I don't gotta, but, I just watch it. And Still Curtain Network is one. I don't know why I like watching them. I mean, they're kind of corny. I like Jeff Hartman. I like the way he commentates it. And they do have good insight. But it's kind of surface level insight. I like their opinions, but I don't think they're insiders so much. Bro, I just like watching them. I don't even know why. At least with the other podcasts, I say I watch them because they're insiders. In fact, you see some of the press conferences. And you see all those dudes in the locker room with their phones recording. So they're in the locker room. DK and all them, they're in the locker room. Chris and DK, I'm starting to like them too. I'm starting to like Chris and DK. Even though DK kind of irritates me, sort of, with a little move or gesture he does. He likes to always, he has a tendency to look at the person he's with. If he's with Chris, they're doing this little thing, he'll say, and you know what I'm talking about, Chris. You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? What do you think? He'll bring them into it. And that ain't my favorite move or gesture. He'll like, yeah. And you know what I'm gonna say here, don't you, Chris? What am I gonna say? He'll do stuff like that. Or when he's talking, he'll turn and talk to and look at, Chris, the co-host. I don't know, that just strikes me as kind of, weird. But watching it, he kind of second, but since he's inside the room, he got some inside information. And they study the film and, they do work. So we'll see. Maybe it's coming to a head, but it's like week 2. And they're already pointing fingers at Tomlin. Tomlin might not get out of this one. Tomlin might not get out of this one. I say he's a good leader of men, good motivator, solid person, obviously Christian, wearing his cross, but he ain't, he'll cuss. He'll say some words. He keeps it real, whatever that means, But, and he don't, wear his faith on his shoulders, whatever they say. It's not overly blatant. I was watching I think a college game or something. Player did real good. The first thing he said, he come on, all glory to God. And God this and God that. And I'm like, okay. I look at him. 18, 19-year-old kid, athlete, super talented, like a physical specimen, athletic ability off the charts. You can see what he has been concentrating on, or what his focus is going to be on. It ain't going to be on philosophy. It's not going to be on philosophy. Run around superstar, being able to, have and do whatever he wants in the community, being the community's darling athlete, they behind him. Hey, come on in, hey, you want to, girls throwing themselves at him, news, and going through all that. Young kids. For them to have, it's almost like, okay, I'm glad you got God. And I could say that probably truthfully, to have something in your life that you at least face value, pay tribute to, or respect, or bow down to. Some kind of overriding or authority that you at least pay face value, or what is it? Because they're young. You can see it too. And in some communities and some cultures, education isn't as valued as other cultures. But, blah, blah, blah. Tuesday, 80 degrees out here. Getting my steps. Blah, blah, blah. I really need to stop soaking them Blagger Mile. And I want to so bad. And of course, on my way home from here, I'm gonna go get my 3 more. Tomorrow's office day. Then the weekend. We shall see. We shall see. It's an exciting time. It is really a good thing being Jeffery. I've said it before. And I built this. I put this all together. And I was thinking too, all my life, I've been focused on this. All my life, you could probably very easily say everything I've done was focused to get me to this position. Every decision I made, every intention, somehow, if not indirectly, was pointed to get me in this position I'm in now. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, well, how's that gonna get me to where I wanna go? How's that gonna get me to my goal? What's the best decision I could do here for the long-term execution of my plan in this journey, place I wanna get to? And it seems like I made it. Well, made it makes it sound like the finale. Makes it seem like the final achievement. It's never the end. But I'm in a place where I kind of always wanted to be, or projected myself as wanting to be. And every decision, I can honestly say every decision I ever made, that was in the back of my mind. How is this decision gonna get me to here? How is that gonna get me to where I am now? Selfish, you could call it. Self first, self-preservation, I don't know, however you wanna call it. I've always been well aware and placed heavy emphasis on the things that I wanted in me. I would have to say more so than what we're taught generally in society. The altruism, this probably superficially prevalent, as it's probably pushed out there to a degree that we don't really believe that. We just pay face value. Was it face tribute? Face tribute. I think I was trying to say that before. To it. To just be in the, on the right side of the court of public opinion or whatever. Just, to fit in and, I'm for fitting in to a degree. Or more so, I'm like, you do your thing, I do mine, and we be cool. We ain't gotta reach out and hug and, oh, you're doing so fine, there you go. Look at you, that's so beautiful. Support each other. We can help each other, and I guess we could be there for people. And sometimes they take it too far as support and help. Like you're supposed to go out of your way to help somebody. I don't believe that. Now, that doesn't mean you don't. That don't mean I'm against it. It's just that that's not my primary mode of operation, to go on my way and help somebody. It's not my basic idea. The premise of my existence is not helping other people. The premise of my existence is to help me and to get me where I want. And within that, what I want of me and happiness of me and this of me, there's a circle of people, events, and experiences and happenings that are just bigger than me. My whole village, you could say. So even though I'm being selfish, that selfishness incorporates people other than me. And I think, sometimes I think like people who want to save the whales and heal all the puppies, rescue all the animals and dogs, they're really doing that for themselves. That's something they want to do. That's the drive for whatever reason, a will that they have within themselves. So it's almost selfish, because that's what they want to do. I mean, do some of these people want to be saved? Some of these dogs want to be saved? That could be argued or whatever. But the people with the drive to be altruistic and to help this and help that are doing it because that's their will, their program. So it's almost selfish. You can look at it that way. It's like a selfish thing. You know? They're doing it because they want to do it. How do you separate altruism from your internal or desire to perform something or do something? You know, so that's how sometimes I think that everything is selfish. Everything, you do everything for what you want. Because I definitely seen people who they get their joy from helping other people. Now, are you doing it for the other people or are you doing it to get joy? And then it gets to a point where people evolve in being, you know, helping other people, this and that, maybe even being maternal or something like that, in a role where, you know, you help and support people. And then when there ain't nobody to help and support, well, you almost gotta focus on you. You gotta turn inward for your happiness, or turn inward for your satisfaction. Satisfied. And they can't. And they don't know. They've never had that before. They were always, their happiness came from being in service, or maybe even latched on to somebody else, or involved with something else. I think I have, probably more than just think. I'm just about, I remember a long time ago, I made a conscious effort to eliminate literally anything extraneous, external to me, especially when it came to creativity. Too many times I did this or did that and want to release it. The person said, no, don't release it. I don't like it. We can do it better. I don't, you know, it's their work. It's their material. So, nothing I can do. I said, you know what? I'm getting away from this. I am going to get away from this. And I did. Musically is the way I really think about it. I got the tools of where I can make music completely by myself, where I don't need anybody else. But I do work with other people, don't get me wrong. You know, it's not like I'm all isolated. I got a good network of musicians around me, to the point of where I need to do something. I need to have an event. The quote unquote position I am in society, in this, our group, in the community, it's like, hey, you need to do something, Mr. Mitchell. You need to do something. You need to do something. You got the people around you, people show up. Take this thing someplace. That's all they're saying. We got to take this thing someplace. So that's where I'm at Tuesday. I don't even know if I made it. I can't remember the last time I did one of these. I didn't get my steps 2 days, maybe 3 days last weekend, over the weekend. Just kind of, well, wait, I'm still under 200 per se, and that's good. If I keep it under 200, I was down to like 191 anomaly weight. That was just like, you know, it wasn't a real weight. I did get on the scale and get off, and it said 191. So that's a indicator of trend to a degree. But this weekend I was got up to 200.2, got up to 200, but it came right off. I was eating like an idiot, deservedly so. I rewarded myself, so. And I knew I was gonna have to, come back and do something. And it came, Just gotta stay on top of it, because weight gaining season is coming up. Usually starts about Halloween to Valentine's Day, with a big jump, usually around Christmas. I've gained 20 pounds over Christmas, between Christmas and in that area, a month or so, around Christmas and New Year's. Because you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's. The weather changes. It's lazy time. Low energy. Not the best weather outside. Easy to stay in the house and eat. You know. You know. You know. Something on my shoe. You hear it? Something on my shoe. Stuck to it or something. Oh, we got a commando. Long white. We got a commando. Looks like he dressed to go to a SWAT team. Ah! It's hot. See, there's a building over there. They boarded it up. You knew that was going to happen. Protect it. Woo! Don't you know the preacher hears me calling? California, California, California dreaming. Such a winter's day. Hot. I'm thinking I should weigh at 194.8 or something like that. If I lose 2.2. Should drop 194.8, which, you know, I'll look over last week, see where I was last week, which might not be too bad, considering the weekend that I ate like a fool. I had French fries. What did I make? French fries and what did I have with the French fries? I had something with them, I forget. I had French fries and hot dogs. I think I made 2 hot dogs. Homemade. Cut them up from potatoes. Whew. Last night I got out of bed. Got some red bites and marshmallows. 2 hits. Ate some and got back out of bed, got some more. It was so good. You know, life is good. My fantasy team won. I lost the first game. I lost my first game. Scored the least amount of points in the league, but only lost by 8 points. And that was to the reigning league champion who created this league. What's going on over there? Reigning champion who created this league, you know, who is in like 5 other fantasy leagues, you know. Somebody really experienced. He ended up winning it last year. But I think he lost this week. His team is having problems. My team is having problems. In fact, the first player to play on my team, one of my first players to be in the game, was a Thursday night game with the Chiefs. So it was like, one of my first players to play gets hurt, out. That's how I started. And probably my number 1 player, my quarterback, the guy who I kind of put a lot of money into, faith in, Joe Burrow, hurt, out. 3 months, I dropped him. I got Jordan Love. Green Bay Packers seem to be doing some things. They seem legit. So I'll start Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers is out there. He had 4 touchdowns and 300-something yards the first game. But this last game, woo. So I don't know. I don't got Pittsburgh's defense. I don't got Pittsburgh's kicking team. Boswell's the best. I got Jaylen Warren. And he getting mismanaged, as we was talking about earlier, coaching and scheming. He's getting mismanaged. They're like, why is Gainwell in there? Why you got this guy playing? Just questioning the whole scheme and tactics of the offense, the play calling and personnel. So we'll see. Get back home, maybe watch the press conference, or eat my breakfast. Get ready for that. I don't know if you saw that, but somebody seemed agitated. I think they're training these dogs. Anyway, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I'm swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom in this or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, a theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.